Hi, fashion dolls. I had to redo my intro. How are you doing? Happy Thankful Thursday. Are y'all ready for some girl talk today? Today, joining me, we have actress Tinesha Lynn, and I'm super excited to have her here. She's going to be talking about her new project, Jack Squad 2 Fashion Dolls. I'm super excited. Now, let me share this live so that we can get everybody in here. Springtime is officially here, and I had to dive into some spring colors, as you guys can see. I'm feeling very colorful today. I hope you guys are doing well. So let me go ahead and share this live, all right? So that we can get some people in here. We're going to talk about some things. Now, our girl Tanisha is going to be talking about her new project with our guy, Jack Squad 2. Are you guys excited? I'm super excited. And I had to go to the big hair today. I wanted to do some big hair. I'm feeling very voluminous and full today. Yesterday, I did the black hair, the curly hair. And thank you guys so much for your compliments. You guys love the curly hair. But today I said, you know what? I'm feeling a spring awakening coming on. I wanted to go back to the Farrah Fawcett. Big, voluminous hair. Big hair, don't care. And long nails. All right, so without further ado, let's get into some girl talk with our beautiful, talented special guest, Tanisha Lynn. Hello, hello.
Girl, what's up, Stevie? Hi, gorgeous.
I am doing wonderful. How are you,
Oh,
gorgeous?
feeling life right now. You are giving me life. Come on here. Come on.
Thank
Come
you.
on.
Yes, welcome to the dollhouse, beautiful.
Thank you so much for having me on here. Oh my goodness. I love your
It's been a
show.
long time coming, and I got introduced to you through our guys. So we'll talk about the project Jack Squad
Oh,
2.
oh
But
yeah.
before we get to that, how has 2023 been for you so far this year?
Girl, 2023 has been it's been life. It's been an experience. It's been busy, thank God. But it's just coming out of 2021, 22, and adjusting to things reopening, things happening. It's been great. It's been good. It's been good. So yeah.
And I said it in the beginning of the show, it's sort of like a spring awakening, restarting all over again with everything opening back up in the world. We wasn't expecting this, but now we've got that normalcy that we've been waiting for. We can finally go outside.
Well, we've got some normalcy, girl. We can go outside. We can take these masks off for a minute, but we can breathe some fresh air. So it's been
Um,
wonderful.
All right, so the new project, Jack Squad 2, it has an ensemble cast. You, Stephen Connor, and our fave that we both know, our guys in the project. You're in the project, and it's surrounded by so many stars. What was it like getting the call to be casted in this project?
You know what? Getting that call was it was so surreal because I remember preparing for that audition and just like, oh my goodness, seeing myself in that role already. So I was like, I want this, and I was like, I'm Cam. Cam is me, I need to go in here and just be me and get this role. And I mean, once I got the call, Latoya Freeman, a beautiful person, just inside and out, got the call for the role of Cam, and I at first it didn't hit me. I was like, wait, did I just get that call? No, I got that call. Did I? So it was so surreal, so amazing, and to be on set with such amazing people like our guy, Jaden, Simi, Latoya. I mean, the list goes on and on. The cast, my sisters, the cast was phenomenal. So Deshawn and Samaya, I couldn't have asked for a better set of girls to do this with, to be honest. But
And your boyfriend is in the comments, and I see some of the cast members are here. Welcome.
he got
Michael
here,
Campion
killed it.
says,
I know. It was like probably
look at that.
one of,
All of
like
this
uh,
love.
we've gotten cast in a few things together. So it was amazing. Like before we became all this, we kind of got cast in a few things together. So it was like, wow. it was just a beautiful people I worked with before. Atlanta's is so big yet small. So when you're seeing people that you work with or been in class with before, that's always a great feeling to see that you guys are doing this and coming up to or doing things together and progressing together. It's always a wonderful thing. So
And it's amazing. Shout outs to K-Tooks, the K-Took spot. Make sure you guys go and check out his talk show and platform. I'm looking at the comments, and you guys are showing so much love to Tinesha right now. Y'all are loving the combo.
Hey, thank y'all for coming in. That's so amazing.
How does it feel, girl, to have all this support behind you 100%?
It's a I can't describe it, to be honest with you, Stevie. It's just a blessing to just have the support and love because it's really hard to get, and so you always want to just nurture that and love on it and respect it and care about it and not forget where you got it from. So yeah, just thank y'all so much. I see T. Hey, I see Emmy, Tony. Hey, it's my mom is on. My California folks in here.
All of your family and all of that. And you've done some other projects as well, too. I've got familiar with you for Conflict. You've done Conflict, Deceptive State, and Servitude, and so many others. Out of all of your projects that you've done, which one holds a special place to your heart?
Ooh, that's tough, Stevie. Ooh, girl. Because I've recently done some amazing projects. Thanksgiving is one that I'm very excited about because I got a chance to Marquise Moore, Dwayne Finley, Trey Cheney, Jazz, a few, Tiffany. There's a few with Queen directed this one, Thanksgiving. So I got to play a role of a grandma, which that's my thing. I just love playing. I played landlord, so to have her as an elderly, as a mature lady coming onto a set for a feature film was phenomenal. So, but the one that holds to my heart, I would say, because it was so unexpected, was Gerald's Hands. Gerald's Hands is a film that's based on an adult that has autism, and how he's living his life, how he grows into this person who finds love for the first time. He's experiencing all these things for the first time. He loses his mom. So that was a really heartfelt film for me. Just trying to get a gauge for what it's like to know what an adult goes through and just get that feeling. Because my son has autism. My youngest baby, he has autism. I never thought about what it would be like for him as an adult. And I mean, just playing a role of a student, I was able to kind of nurture my son's ways and adapt to that and pull from that and be able to bring that character into this film as a person in therapy, autism, as an older one in therapy. So to be able to embrace that role, Nas Pinky, Andrew McAllister, you got to see that one. Got to see that one. It's on Tubi as well, so got to see that.
Y'all make sure y'all go and check it out. And newest one, Jack Squad 2, which is
Gerald
out.
And Jack Squad 2 for Charlene. We have a few coming out. Thanksgiving on the way. Thought Therapy on the way. We have How Did I Get Here on the way. So we have a few good ones lined up for you.
Definitely. So mentally, how do you prepare? Because I know it's a lot going into these different roles. How do you prepare yourself mentally? Because every actor or actress has a process for preparing themselves for a role. So mentally, how do you do it?
You know what, Stevie? The first thing that I have to do is look at. So I'm gonna bring my thing down. I feel like it's all in my nose, Stevie. Hey y'all. Hey JMS. But preparing, Stevie. The first thing is to really know the script in and out. And the first thing that I do is I sit there and I break down my character. I read every single word. I don't care if it's the dialogue, the actions, I don't care if it's what the punctuations. All of that means something for me in this work. So if a director is putting punctuations and bolding things out and putting exclamation marks behind things, I want to go back and read it a few times to know what it is. And that helps me to get a grasp of what this character is, and then I end up finding a way to become that character. How can I relate to him? How can I relate to her? How are we similar to one another? What was the past? What was their future like? All those things matter to me. What are their favorite colors? You know, what kind of hair do they have? And once I read the script over and over and over, I kind of start seeing the person, and that kind of
Yeah.
sets the tone for even what my outfit might look like, um, what my hair might be doing. You know, everything just starts coming together from that point. So it's a process, but it's a process that I love. Just the discovery of this person who is me, eventually, you know, and studying,
And you
watching other
slowly
people.
develop your character, right? Yes. So, do you have any input into what you want your characters to look like?
Yes, it takes me reading the script for a while, and once I read that script, the visual starts coming to life. And sometimes, you know, you already when you're going on some sets, they already know what you want to look like. So it's, I mean, they already know what they had in mind for your dress code, your wardrobe. And I think for me, I think the good thing is there's nothing wrong with saying, "Hey, can we make a few adjustments here?" And then it's like, "Oh yeah," you know, we kind of find a way to bring this all together because once you sit in that role and you're comfortable in that role, I'm gonna bring you my me. I'm gonna bring your Cam, your your Cam, your Sylvia, your Monica's, your you know your Kelly's. Your I'm bringing it, but you have to find a way to bring you into this whole thing.
And going into it, it's all about having range. I said this yesterday with Kent Saunders, another actor. He said, I was telling him, you got to have range. You got to be able to, whenever the producer or director calls for something, you
Mm-hmm.
got to be able to switch it up and do different things for the character. Definitely.
You can't set boundaries on yourself and where you're gonna go. I mean, as an actress, if you are going to go, and if they give me a role as, I mean, I played elderly women, I played, you know, I'm doing an action film right now. It's where I'm just this badass. I curse Stevie, sorry, I'm a bad,
Yeah.
but like, but you know, you have to learn what it takes to even get to that range. You can't just walk in like, yeah, I'm an actress, I'm an actor, I do this. It takes work. It takes a lot more work, and that discovery came from me working behind the scenes and seeing how other people adjust. Working while I'm working behind the scenes, I get to see how other people adjust to their characters and adapt to it. And you know, the sweetest people off set, but they might have a role where they're just being like just a beast, and you're like, whoa, where did that come from? That's not who I met. But it's just great to be able to see people transition like that, and that was a huge help for me, just watching from behind the scenes and all that.
Yes, indeed. 100%. 100%. All right, so we're going to dive deeper into this girl talk, okay? The
Oh,
Oscar was in February, all right? I want to know your thoughts. Our girl Angela Bassett got snubbed. What was running through your
come
mind when you
on.
seen it come out?
I just knew that she was going to walk away with everything. Because when I say she embraced the mess out of this role, she carried her role and always does, you know, always does. Um, Kind of heartbreaking to see that there weren't a lot of awards that went to uh, to that film. Uh, yeah, I wasn't really happy about the results. Some of the
Jay
films
Evans,
I really had to go back and watch them to say, hey, why did they win this? But you know, now I want to know why they lost to what film, and what was the breakdown of that.
I agree with Jay Evans, and everybody's agreeing in the comments as well too. They're saying Angela deserved it most definitely, and Time Magazine named her as the Woman of the Year. This would have solidified her. She would have been, from What's Love Got to Do with It. She didn't win an Oscar, but this would have solidified her right
This,
here, just for
but
Black Panther Wakanda Forever, because it sold out in the box office.
right, and this is stuff. How did she not win this? I still can't even understand what the reason was, and I'm still watching some of the films that did win to see what the rationale was behind that. What was the reason behind it? I don't understand it. And again, that's why it's like, you know what? That's why we always have to be supportive of one another, and we have to make sure that we're creating platforms to get these type of awards. We have to acknowledge one another sometimes. some kind of way. And I don't know. That needs to have a do-over, girl. So
Yes,
that needs a
because
whole
I
new
mean,
do-over.
watching her, and people, sad to say, she hasn't been snubbed. We will never be as outstanding in a room of white people. Ooh, yes.
Love that, which is exactly why, it's very important that we are creating our and paving our own way to have awards like this. People we can be presenters where we can go ahead and say, hey, you know what? You set the tone for this. We set the bar for people to be able to get these type of awards. And just
And it's sad. We have a long way to go, and I talk a lot about this on my platform here. Is that we're still developing our own way, and I'm thankful for platforms like the NAACP Awards, the Boss Babe Awards, which showcases all Black talent, Black content creators in general, who are out here doing the work, doing the research, and giving us credit as well too. Whereas if you go to someplace like, let's say, the Oscars.
awesome.
And for Angela's category, if you looked at the screen, she was the only woman of color in that category that was nominated. That's sad.
It makes it really hard because with you as an actress and admiring someone's the work and caliber of work of Angela Bassett, it's like, goodness gracious, where are we going with film? Like, she is the epitome of acting. Her, Viola, there's so many, and it's like, as someone who respects and loves her craft, how do you get ahead of because we all know it's political, it's just not a secret. So that's
And it begs to differ the question for us as Black women. You guys are looking at the screen, we're both Black women. And the question at the say is like, is my value, is my worth not good enough? Like, what more do you want from us? I mean, we do the work, we do what we need to do, we show up and we show out, and we're still not getting the recognition for it. Viola Davis, The Woman King, was an outstanding film and project.
come on.
And she trained, I remember in an interview, she said she trained strenuously,
Right. Have you seen
tirelessly for this
the
role.
clips on her and the training and the regimen? It's like, come on now. When I say these women got out here and worked their tails off, just the curriculum, the training, just the all that he put into this. And it was almost kind of disappointing because it was like, wait a minute, that film did come out this year. What happened?
Right.
Yeah. What is that?
Let me
The
read.
Academy was out of touch. Was Halle Berry still the only Black actress to win an Oscar for a lead role? And Jay Evans, what lead role was that? That was what?
And Monsters Ball. This would have been in 2002 Monsters Ball. And they asked Halle Berry on the red carpet, was she really ready for Angela? She said, oh yeah, most definitely she deserves it. So it's amazing to see other actresses out here giving Angela her flowers as well too. And I love what Michael B. Jordan and Jonathan Majors did for her. They said, we got you, Auntie, we still love you. It was touching, it was beautiful.
Come on.
And it's just like, we prove our worth, but they don't see it because of what Ali Yankee said. We know who the shows are predominantly ran by, and it's barely any people that look like us in the room or the production room in general for the Oscars. Now the Emmys, you've had a few Black women who EGOTed. Viola Davis, Jennifer Hudson,
Right.
Jackie was the first, then Cheryl Lee Ralph, and then Viola Davis,
Yes.
she EGOTed. And yes, and Jennifer
Which
Hudson. So I mean,
long overdue, but yeah, she's amazing. She's incredible. I'm so glad that she did win the Emmy for that because she went in there. She did her that film. You couldn't even deny that one. Not the whole what's the name of the show? And I'm having a brain.
Abbott and
Yes, yes,
Abbott Owens.
yes. Only 23 Black people have Oscars. In my head, there's only going 2 wins. And then
very likely.
the wardrobe, beautiful lady that won for wardrobe a few times. Yeah, yes, Jay.
Ruth Carter.
Yeah.
Ruth Carter for Black Panther.
Ruth
Yes.
Carter. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Black people get we're rewarded for mediocrity, but we have to cross every T and dot every I just to be recognized and still not good enough for white America. I'm going to tell you why. Lord, y'all, I'm probably going to get some backlash to this, but I'm going to say
Speak, Stevie, speak.
respectability. It's respectability politics. And then they were saying, well, why Angela didn't clap for Jamie? I'm like, that's another thing. I'm going to need y'all to stop telling Black actresses and Black actors how to react when we get snubbed or lose awards that we so gratefully worked hard for and deserve. It's called respectability.
Well,
and we've been told for years we have to conform to what they want us to be.
Right. And what was that, Stevie? You said why what? Because I didn't hear that last part. Why?
Why Angela didn't clap for Jamie when she won. I mean, you could tell the look on her face. People were going back and watching, and I said, you can't tell someone how to feel and process emotion.
Feel, and then sitting there waiting for these emotions, like sitting there, like, oh, let's see it. You don't know what's going on in her mind, but people are always quick to make sure there's that battle here, and looking for an excuse for us to have. Oh yeah, but
I'm so thankful that we have platforms like Black Entertainment Television.
Black Entertainment Television.
Yeah, and then in 1988.
Yes, NAACP, the awards for that. I mean, just and it's needed. It's crucial. It's needed. It's very important for us to have platforms we can support ourselves. And it's really good to honestly see more distributors in film that are Black owned. More, right? Exactly. It's really important that we are creating
our own.
Those.
That's why you guys have to go out and support projects like Jack Squad 2 and so many others.
Jack Squad
on Hulu. So many Black film directors and creators out here. And I can give you just a few that I've interviewed here on my platform. Maurice Paramore, Nelson J. Davis. You guys know Nelson. He's everywhere.
He's everywhere. Kudos to another one who was really just doing an amazing thing for just Keke Palmer. Just opening these different doors and platforms to where we're able to go on and create and giving us opportunities to be able to come on as script supervisors and see that there are different worlds within this film industry. So if you guys get a chance to go on Key TV and watch some of our episodes, we're doing something very special, and I don't think it's been duly noted. I don't think it's gotten the notoriety it deserves. So.
And another person that we have who's been out here doing it for years is Queen Latifah. She created her own film production company, Flavor Unit. So it goes on and on.
Yes, Flavor Unit. Flavor Unit's been around for a while, and as someone who was an artist under Flavor Unit back in the day, she is really doing some incredible things with young artists, and I think those are things that we don't even know about unless they're mentioned through platforms like yours, Stevie. We don't even know that Flavor Unit is doing they have their own means of having their own production companies, bringing up creative artists. They had artists like Next. They had all these different types of artists and still creating to this day. We don't even know that.
Keke has been killing it. Absolutely. And I love what Jay Evans said as well, too.
Yeah.
We have to support our own award shows and value them. And you have platforms like mine, and so many others. My brother K2, Jay Evans, we all have talk shows and platforms. And we're scoring these interviews with Black film directors, producers, creators, actors and actresses who are out here doing the work and the research, because there are very few platforms that showcase your own kind, people of color. I mean, back in the day, it was 106 and Park where actors could come and talk about their projects or music as well, too, for the culture.
Yeah.
Yes. And I kind of modeled Style by Stevie after that, just a tad.
Come on now, Stevie. Well, you did a good job on that one.
Yes, girl, and it's the nostalgia. I try to give people that nostalgia feel, because going back in time, when the pandemic first hit, we were in the day and age of Versus. and everybody was
Oh, that's
inside.
great.
And we was like, Lord, what we gonna do? We looking at the walls and everything. So we have to figure out what's gonna be the next move. And music, the verses got us up and got us
Yep.
out of just being inside the house.
Yep.
So that's why I kind of did started doing Style by Stevie all throughout the time, the verses and everything. It's amazing the creativity that we as people of color we have. We've been had it, and it's about time that we continue to get our recognition on it as well too.
And it takes platforms like this. So thank you for us, being able to bring that out and showcase that because there's one amazing crew. Speaking of our female month, I definitely want to give a shout out to Damn Right Original. When I say this group of ladies, uh, first time kind of seeing like women behind a camera, directors,
Yeah.
Black women behind the camera, directors, script supervising. Well, script supervising, but like doing all these different things in film. It was so inspiring to be on that set. See, first ADs, second ADs, and we had the art department. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
see all of us. If you get a chance to pull up Damn Right Originals, when I say this crew is bad, they are bad, Stevie. They are out here doing it. So Kayla, Terry T, they're out here really just making an impact, creating great films, doing some amazing work out here. So
And that's what we need to see more of because it's like a young girl going in the store and she picks up a Barbie doll and it's just like, okay, the Barbie doll doesn't have my hair texture. She doesn't look like me, but it's okay. Now we're starting to see that representation.
yes,
Just like with film directing, we see people who look like us behind the
yes,
lens.
Little
So I'm thankful for
Mermaid. We're seeing us in films like Little Mermaid. It's like what?
never in a million years I would have expected Ariel would have been that we would have had a black Ariel. I mean, that's Brandy's Cinderella broke the doors open for that to happen, and then you have Princess Diana, and now the black Ariel. So I'm just like, okay, Disney, y'all are coming
Yes,
through representation.
I mean they're coming. And you know what was so phenomenal about that moment when the trailer came out? Uh, my two little guys, my sons, they were like, "Mom, Little Mermaid is black. Look, I mean, when I say they put that food down so quick and stood up in that screen, but just to see and feel their excitement for that moment, it
Yes.
was it was so breathtaking. I don't even have words to explain how I felt about seeing that moment and how they felt. I was like, yeah, she is. Yeah, she is.
See that, and that's the representation that we're talking about. The children need to see. And we got a question for you. Our chambers wants to know: do you have any new movies coming out?
Hey Al, yes, what I work with you on. But we have some amazing things coming out. Thanksgiving, not Thanksgiving, but Thanksgiving is going to be so funny. It is off the chain. So we have Al, we have Marquise Moore, we have Trey Cheney, we have Dwayne Finley from Wood, we have young Jock up in there. We have some goodness gracious, Ching, we have Tiffany, we have a lot of wonderful talent, a lot of good talent on here. But when I say I think y'all are going to this is a gut buster. This one's funny. It's hilarious. So Thanksgiving is coming out. We do have the subject state. We have goodness gracious. You asked me for one coming out now. Savage. So Savage is already out. That is with gosh, I can't even name everybody in there. Please don't quote me on this because they all kind of ran simultaneously together. How did I get here? Gosh, I'm trying to name all this stuff. Don't quote me on it. Gerald Chance is out now. Please check that one out. Nas Pinky, another amazing female director, writer. It's just brilliant, period. Thought Therapy, that's Focus Films. Trying to think what else there is, girl. Working on the subject state now in Servitude. Be working on that one next. So that one I get to like kick butt, I get to like wrestle some people up on that.
Let me read some of you guys' comments. All right. Speaking of film directors and producers, ladies and gentlemen, Marcus Head.
Oh,
Make sure you guys go and check out his film Can't Do Right, which is out right now. Um, Also on Tubi. So again, support Black film creators and directors. Alan
oh yeah.
Yankee says, from generations, we have learned to adapt, and the award shows are biased to keep them at a great level, but not an equivalent level to them. Not an equal level to them. Exactly. Exactly.
That's a great point.
And it's up for us to continue to keep opening doors and shattering glass ceilings and opening the doors so that actors and directors and producers of color can get through. And that's what I do here on my platform. I welcome everybody creatively who is doing something, who is Black, because I know that in this business, I've had a lot of doors closed in my face, and I've been told, no, you can't do this because you're Black, because you're a
Right.
woman. And I want to make sure that people who look like us on this screen have a platform where they can talk about their projects and let people know, like, hey, this can help, because they will go straight to Tubi and check out those projects or check out what the director or whomever is writing or working on.
Mm-hmm. And I think another thing about that too, Stevie, is like you have so many young children in this industry that are doing their own content creation. And I mean, when I say making more money than adults, but like, where's the navigation at? Where do we start saying, hey, let's teach the business aspect of it now? Let's get them further ahead. And I think those are some things that need to really start happening as well within our community, because everybody's capitalizing at what we do at such a young age that it's time to get some mentorship in there to say, hey, because I wish I had that guidance when I was growing up, when I was in the music industry growing up. I wish someone would have pulled me to the side and say, hey, this is how you invest your money. This is what you do.
And to add on to that is so many young women who want to get into this business as well too and become an actress.
Mm-hmm.
And just like us as Black women, they have had the doors closed in their face along the way as well too.
Right.
Like it could be so many casting calls out here, and there could be so many girls around the corner wrapped around, and they say, okay, we're looking for one specific thing. And I'm pretty sure that has happened to you, Tinesha, where it's just like you go into a casting call, just like, wow, I'm in a whole nother planet. All of these girls look just like me. We're all beautiful. But what are the producers looking for, though? And you're with your heart, you got your fingers crossed, and it's just like your heart is crossed and everything. And you go into there, and your dreams get shattered, and they say, no, not right now. Take that no, because we're gonna get a lot of no's.
Yes.
And you take that no, and it rebuilds you to come back stronger. It could be no, not right now. But you go in for that role, you keep going till you get that role. That's my motto. I don't give up easy.
I've had my whole, still getting my share of no's, you're still getting your share of no's. And the thing is, you can't go in there assuming, you can't go in there with the assumption that you know what that person expects. All you can do is go in there and do you, be you, and come out of there as you. You cannot go in there compromising who you are, what you are, where you are. At some point, you still have to value and learn how to value and know what you bring to the table, And if it does not get picked up, guess what? That just means something else is in the works for you, and this was not your moment or your seat. Doesn't mean it's over, And I think having a support system that can get you through those moments, I think it's very, very important. And you have to know who you are in this industry. I really believe you have to sit down, have yourself a moment, have yourself a private cup of coffee, and get to know you, because this industry is a beast. It is a beast.
I think they snub us at award shows to keep us questioning our worth, so we would accept a certain pay because it's what we feel. Island Yankee, now you done dug. You are digging in a good way. And I say that because I wanted to get to that. Tanisha, as a Black woman, because we know that men make $1 to 42 cents that every woman makes in Hollywood. There's still an issue with gender inequality. Men, Black men, white men, they will get more. Whereas women, especially women of color, we're Black women, we're not going to receive the same amount. So what are your thoughts on the gender inequality, the gender pay gap?
You know what? The best thing I can do is give an example. And at this point, working in the corporate industry, a few years back,
Yeah.
there was a point when I had to say, you know what, I'm walking away because I know for a fact I'm working with what you're giving, and, and not being afraid to know your value, know your worth, and walk away and say, because what I'm not going to do is work harder than anybody in here and be disvalued or discredited for what I do. But knowing that it's okay to walk away and be okay and have your self-respect and know your worth. Because guess what? Sometimes if you don't do that, you don't get that call back to say, hey, on second thought, we can do this for you. But you have to fight back. There's a point there's a time when you have to say, hey, no, I need you to give me this. This is what I need. And this is what I deserve. Have the battle. Have the battle. And I think that's one of the things that we don't do as women. We don't have the battle. And of course, there's a million people that can go now. There's a million people that can come here and do what you do. Okay, well.
Listen, it's still a battle, and then it's just like if we speak up or if we say something about it, then we are going to be labeled as, oh, she's difficult, she's too demanding. No, we're just asking, like Eileen Yankee said, you pay us what we're worth.
Mm-hmm.
And Viola Davis said it best. She quote Viola. Viola said this: if you call me the Black Meryl Streep, pay me like it. Pay me like it. Simple as that.
And
all we're asking for is equality.
It's equality. We're asking for equality. We're asking to treat us the same way you would treat anybody else walking through. And and unfortunately, it doesn't happen that way. Which is very, very important for nowadays there are opportunities for you to create your own lane. You don't have to wait on me. Create your own lane if that's the case. Because now there are so many platforms and so many different ways to get people. What we don't realize is that we're all out here fighting for the same thing. Quit having fears of networking. Open your mouth, talk, speak. Find ways to network. Find ways to bring things together. Because now you don't have to wait on anybody to get things done. You're like, well, money, figure it out. There are people gorillaing it every day.
And that's all we're asking for. But still, in a world full of patriarchy and misogyny, these men in this business, some of them will label us as, oh, she's difficult, she's aggressive, she's bossy. If me asking for what I'm worth is me being bossy or aggressive or demanding, I will gladly take those titles. And they've already tried to label me as that girl because I'm too outspoken, and I get my outspokenness from my mom. My mom's a Libra, I'm a Scorpio. So you already know the stars align, and we are fiery and powerful together. So my mom, she told me, get into this business. Never allow anybody, a man, to take advantage of you. Don't matter who it is, actor, director, whoever. Don't let a man take advantage of you. And I've grown stronger. I said, going into 2023, I want to go into 2023 with a stronger mindset. And the word that I put on my vision board, I'm looking at it now, is dare. Dare to ask for a raise. And I want to encourage all women to do that as well.
Yes, dare to not be afraid to say, hey, no, dare to not rebuttal. We don't rebuttal. Go back and rebuttal it. Like, hey, this is all we can give you. Well, no, how about you give me, how about this? Let's talk about this. But it's like too quick to walk away either. So many times we're like, you know what? We're just accepting anything that's thrown at you. Cannot accept anything that's thrown in your path. Especially if you're in your heart, you don't feel it. Go back and say something.
Exactly.
So,
and Eileen Yankee says equality will never be equal, even if things get better. Right, because we live in a world full of patriarchy, whereas men have the power and they have their foot on women. And basically trying to break those barriers, break through, especially as women of color, is even tougher for us because of this. They don't see us as valuable or marketable.
And
Black women, we literally are at the bottom of the totem pole, and we're having to fight just to prove our worth every single time.
And, and I don't know about, I might be saying too much, but even during COVID, some of us were the last ones standing during COVID and running the businesses and keeping them up and running. And there was never any notoriety for it. So we also have to go back and look at that. There were a lot of us in these, what did they call them back then? What did he call, goodness gracious. It was like some of the hospitals and some of the hotels that needed to stay open. I forgot the name of it, but there was most of us were in there holding things together from where I was working. So,
and that's that nurturing stage in us as women,
mm-hmm.
where you have two sons. I'm Auntie Stevie, so my girlfriends keep trying to put babies on me. They're just like, well, when's your time? I said, when I get a man. So I'm telling you, when I find a man, then it's my time. But
so speaking of Gerald's hands, one of my somebody I cherish so much is on here. This is my girl Nas, director, writer, Nas Pinky of Gerald's Hands. When I say I am so influenced by her, she's just been a rock. Just somebody I really admire in this industry. I've experienced it firsthand. They want yes, honey, yes, they do want all the praise. It's horrible, not all, but many of them. Yes, you're right. Yes, not. No, he's not like that, girl. Andrew's not like that, but her man ain't like that. But yeah, they do want all the glory. It's sad, but that's why it's important for us to instead of doing all this bickering to try to figure out ways we can bring the next woman down. That's when you need to be like the Damn Right Originals, come together. You pull up these productions, do what you have to do to get things up and running, and not rely on other sources. Put your money together. Let's go.
Carve your own path. Right. Carve your own path. And I agree 100%. I'm looking at you guys' comments. I've experienced it firsthand. They want they want the woman to stand in the shadows while they get all of the praise. And I've seen that happen. We know we're not, disclaimer for the men that are watching this interview, because I know the men view Style by Stevie. They watch it, they slip watch the show, but we're not bashing men. We're just giving our experiences as women. But most men, yes, that ego, sometimes it's that ego. The male ego is so fragile. And it's just like, okay, she's getting all of the shine. But I didn't have that problem really, because I've had male co-hosts here on the platform. You guys remember Johnny, EJ, and also Marco. I've had male co-hosts, and firsthand, it was no egos. Nobody was better than anybody. And the balance and dynamic that we had discussing relationships or dating or whatever it may be, it was the perfect balance, because men got their side, women got their side. And I spoke for my ladies, and the ladies were like, yes, girl, because I'm always on it. I always try to be on it and speak for the women. But my guys, Marco, Johnny, EJ, they were on it as well too. So you got both sides of the coin, and that's what it takes in order for us to move forward.
Yeah.
As people of color, you got to have the conversation on both sides. And even shout outs to Ali Yankee, he says you got to make sure that you cover both sides. And shout outs to him for that 100%. And I've realized it, and it's so far the platform has just taken off. Men are now watching, and they're just like, yes, we get both sides. We get the women's side, and we understand that y'all are not bashing us, but they're getting it. Men are starting to get it. And that's all we want, is for you guys to understand us, that it's not easy being a black woman. Lord knows it's not.
Okay. No, nowhere near. It's like, you're getting hit from the front side, profile, back, front.
It's like you're literally carrying the world on your back. It's hard.
And so when I was saying something the other day, I was talking to someone, I was like, man, and this has been since after watching Woman King, we have been hitting this backlash at the beginning of time. And it's like, can't vote. can't do this, can't do that. And now we're getting dinged in the workplace. And now, you're getting dinged on set. It's like, where can we win? And that's why it's so.
Couldn't vote, couldn't buy credit, couldn't get credit cards. I mean, they were strict
Mm-hmm.
back in the day when it came to rules and regulations for women. But now we have that freedom. We're now in the 20th century. We can do as we please. We can have freedom of expression as not only as women, but as people of, because Black people, we are the culture. Let's be honest. We invented the culture. We've influenced so many things from music to dance to acting to even being on stage,
And
Broadway,
they
theater.
just do plays,
This year in
edible,
2023,
all kind of avenues. Weird, and there's no denying it. No denying it. I had to make sure as a man to understand the true value of woman. I guess Hollywood just need to grow. Oh no, that's right, Al. Say that.
yes.
Right.
And it's amazing that men are now getting in that. Women are now, we're in the, what, shout outs to Reckless Logic for this terminology. He calls it Black womanism. Womanism. Like Erica Badu had Baduism, we have Black womenism, where Black women are standing up and saying, we're not going to tolerate what we were tolerating back in the 70s, the 1950s. We are now in the 20th century where we are now revolutionized to speak up on so many things. And times have evolved and changed tremendously. I can say now in this year, Tinesha, I've seen a lot more people of color take over Broadway than ever. And if you guys have seen, what is it, The Piano Lesson by August J. Wilson,
Yes.
and so many other platforms, the majority of the actors are Black. And I said, this is remarkable. This has never happened in history. So we've come a long
way. And I mean, and we're still climbing, but we're making progress. We are getting there. And I'm telling you, it's really about unity. It's really about sticking one another and supporting one another. So again, that's why I'm just grateful for platforms like this, because even from watching your show, Stevie, I've seen so many people on here that I would have never even imagined. To wow, that's the dancer, choreographer, the writer, just the networking. You network through shows like this, and you get to explore and support other people on platforms like that.
And the journey is so amazing to hear everyone come on here and tell their story. Just being Black through the obstacles. I remember I did my interview with Tommy Davidson. He opened up about the struggles and the challenges that he's faced as a comedian and as a Black man. And we would have, watching him on In Living Color and do the voice of Oscar Proud on the Proud Family, we would have never thought that all of these things happened with some of these stars. Right. Just because we watched them right before our very eyes growing up. And to hear them sit there and tell their stories, just like, wow, you've experienced it too. And it doesn't matter what level of celebrity you're on, you're going to experience some form of racism.
Right. Well, that I remember being, gosh, this was back in California, and I was maybe about 18 years old working in a studio. And when I was working in a studio with people that were, some of the judges were on American Idol. Some of the guitar players were playing for people like Britney Spears and things like that. And just, I remember feeling like, why call me in here if you're going to overlook my voice? You want my words, but you're not doing it the way I envisioned it. But just the being overlooked and, the being overshadowed, and the intent, the audacity to, want to take your lyrics and do whatever they please with and act like you didn't even create it was just, oh man, that was back in my day. And those are some experiences that I went through growing up as like just a young Black songwriter in these studios with, some of these record labels and things like that. Fighting through all that. And so to deal with it, that's why, we can't do that within our own community. We just can't. It has to stop somewhere.
Exactly. And I love what Nadira said. She said that we need these stories so that we can know we're not alone and we can push through. And I love what Alan said also. Times have evolved, but sadly some mindsets, I love that, are still lost in translation. but they all see the beautiful, but they don't see all the beautiful colors, but only dull
Those
pictures. Yes,
pictures.
some people are
Come
stuck in that
on,
mindset. They're not ready to
come on,
change or evolve.
right. Come on, sis.
And
Yeah.
that's why I open my platform up so that people can come on and tell their stories. And even when I reach out to actors for interviews, they're just like, well, you've interviewed so many people. You've interviewed Vanessa Williams, and that is one of the highest interviews that everyone is still to this day is talking about, girl. I can't even, I had to pinch myself because I can't even
Wait, which
believe it.
Vanessa Williams,
Watching,
Stevie?
yes, girl, I was nervous.
Which one?
I was
Vanessa Williams,
nervous.
model Vanessa, model actress, song right stuff, Vanessa Williams, or
Yes, girl. I did that interview back in 2021, and till this day, people are still talking about it.
wow,
Literally, from social media to even when I walk out, they said, "Oh my God, we've seen your interview," and it's
see that?
crazy.
I'm very aware. That's my daddy cousin. That's family.
That's crazy. My goodness. People are still to this day talking about that. That is one of the
Yes.
most watched interviews
Wow.
ever. And
You
hearing her
just
come on and tell her story, from her time as Miss America
Miss America,
and
and
the
not only
challenges that she's been through.
gosh, I need to see that interview because I always wanted to know what that transition was like going into, the Playboy.
Acting.
I would love to know what her feelings were going
She
through
was
that.
dynamic. I was nervous. You
Gosh.
guys could tell. I was like, hi, fashion dolls. When I first started, and then I introduced her and everything. And when she came on, I almost froze up. But I said, you got to get it together, girl. You got to get it together. So
Oh,
I don't remember what I did, but the fear just came out of me and I nailed it. I was like, hey, girl, like how we talking now? But we had a good time. We had a great time talking about her career and her music and so many things. It was like I was chatting with like a girlfriend, like how we doing now. It was a dynamic interview.
I mean, that's why it's so important for us to just have moments like this, even like girl to girls, to, just to be able to honor.
Yes.
I can't imagine what some of us were going through then, and especially not having these platforms to be able to create and
Yeah.
showcase and show our talent and unapologetically just be us. Like I can't even imagine, what that was like. So now to be here, it's so important that we take advantage of all these opportunities. No,
And we don't really see that. We see shows like on Zeus Network and all these other platforms that show us in a negative light where we're jumping on top of tables. That, don't get me wrong, I love my Atlanta housewives. But
come on now, we do. It's
yes, we do. But to see real women in real time have conversations like that, that's very likely.
yeah,
That's very likely in this business
yeah,
where we tear each other down. We don't sit down and have the conversation like, listen, I've been through this too, girl.
right,
I've been through this too. And in real life, we have these conversations with our moms, our daughters,
yeah,
our nieces,
yeah,
our aunts, our the women in our family, the women that have been around us since we
right.
grew up. We have these conversations just like today. I was texting my cousin Sherry, shout out to her, my girlfriend Felicia, and keeping in touch with them, just keeping in touch. How we're talking now is how we talk in real life as well too, outside of this. Believe it, because just like wow, even the viewers that view us in our films can connect to something. And Tanisha, I'm pretty sure you've had it happen too, where viewers who've watched your films have said, wow, you're nothing like your character,
Yeah,
or I can relate to what your character has been through that situation.
yes, I definitely had that, and even like just as actresses and actors, like and seeing people that I've admired in film, meeting them and realizing they're nothing like what I portrayed them to be. So, so, yes, I've absolutely had those moments. Yeah, and people are like, oh, you're not, because I used to play a lot of typecasted, so I used to play a lot of roles where I'm the dingy one and the like, oh, You
I'm
understand?
glad you brought it up, girl, because it happens, and I know so many actors are tired of it. Devon Taylor, and I interviewed him as well, black film director, writer, and actor, and he says they typecast you
Mm-hmm.
in one specific role,
Mm-hmm.
especially for us as black women
Right.
in the industry. They will not Viola Davis, but Octavia Spencer, he said, they typecast
Yeah.
them. It's the mammy type, or the. I mean, for us as black actresses and as black women, we get typecasted as either the drug addict,
Oh,
the prostitute, or
you know, stuck
the
up. Can I?
stripper, and I'm just like,
Yeah. It's like stuck up, cannot
right,
sing. When really in heart, I'm truly a tomboy. So I'll pick up a basketball in a heartbeat, and I'll fight in a heartbeat. So I'm so opposite of what I get casted as. but but
right, and it's just like I'm so much more than that. Like cast me, my dream would be on my bucket list if I decide to do acting or tap back into that would be to play like a Lady Eloise type character.
mm,
Or like a Devil Wears Prada, but the black version,
come
because we've hardly ever seen it. I mean, there was one film that was kind of close to it, and this is a classic. You guys know it. It'll Be Mahogany by
on.
Diana Ross.
Oh
So
yes,
Tracy
come on now,
Chambers,
come on.
I could see myself being like a
Yes,
Tracy
Stevie.
Chambers type character
Yes,
because
Stevie.
people know me as the down to earth type of girl, this fun
Yeah.
type of girl. I love to have a good time, and I do. But to be able to tap into your acting bag and what I told my girl, Ro Underwood, she's also an actress, shout out to her. Um, it's about range. Being an actor or an actress, you have to have range.
You cannot put yourself in a box. And you know what? Now, if you feel like you're being typecasted, there are so many ways to prove to do your own thing to show that you're not. You're not. You don't have to just be the clumsy girl walking in the scene. I can be
Right.
I can be the ball player if I want to. I can be the elderly lady. I can be, you can be whatever that you want to be. But if you don't put in that work and effort to try to I put a bucket list together and I put down these are the type of roles I'm going to play. I'm going to play these characters. And they're so night and day from one another, Stevie. They're just like, but you know what? Because in my mind, I'm not just the clumsy girl, and I'm not just this type of girl. I can play whatever role I want to play, and I will. So, it's whoever's telling you otherwise, you can't let that get in your head. Honestly, you have to get out here and do your own due diligence and find ways to create those roles or make it happen.
Absolutely. Like, I just don't want to be put in one category. I want to be able to expand and show you the multifacets of everyday black women
Yeah.
because we're not all prostitutes. We're sexy. We can be sexy and sell it, but we're not all the same. There, when it comes to us as black women in our careers, we are all multifaceted. You have some that are CEOs of companies. Like I can see myself playing like a woman that is in charge, a black woman that is in charge on Wall Street, or like an executive of a company or something. And then I will play the housewife or whatever. I mean, it shows that I have range. I don't want to just be put in one box. And even when it comes to musicians' music, they're just like, okay, I can sing gospel, I can sing R&B as well too. I don't want to just be put in one box. All right, your boyfriend says casting lacks imagination when it comes to black.
I know that's right. Right. Yes,
That part.
it really does. And that's why it's up to us to pay those different type of ways. I'll tell you this. I don't care what anybody's, because a lot of people are like, once you get into, and I'm just going to put it out there, but a lot of people, what you can't take away from Tyler, this man has opened some doors to where we are playing roles that honestly would presidents. We're playing judges, lawyers. It's just it was kind of an eye-awakening experience to just kind of be on one of those sets to see all of the things that has been created by this individual. and it's inspirational. And then even the type of shows that are coming out where we're playing judges, we're in seats where we're judges, seats where we're lawyers, where we're
Yes.
it's just it's beautiful to see. And not just Tyler, but people like Shonda Rhimes. We're doing we're in films like or shows like Bridgerton. You know, when we have land, we own things. We are the four seers of everything. I just to see we're teachers. It's just you have to give where it's due, and just to see us in the light. It's just beautiful because before we were seeing films where we're always the underdog. We're always the underdog. We're always.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. But
And even shows like Game of Thrones have took a page and said, okay, people of color are watching this as well too. And yes, people of color do watch it. Why not include some characters on shows like that? So I'm seeing the change because there will be people who are non-black typically casted on that type of show. Now they're adding people of color onto shows like Game of Thrones. And we're seeing the shift just a tad bit in Hollywood, but we still have a long way to go. And shows like Britain, we're Reggae John Payne. We're seeing,
Anthony Mackie and these films are like, whoa, we're heroes, like we're to see something like Creed come together is like wow, because I'm a Rocky fanatic, so to see Creed come about and to know that the star is an amazing black man, it's beautiful to see with a beautiful black leading lady. Come on, but it's great to see films like this, and I just there's a way for us to come together and build
yes.
these movies together.
All right, fashion dolls. It is time for our women. It is Women's History Month, and celebrating women and all of the contributions that we have brought to the world. Before we get to that, though, do we have any questions for Tinesha? While you guys are typing your questions and taking your questions, we're going to get to the Women's History woman that we're celebrating for today. And today's woman I chose is Amber Riley. Now, we've seen her grow up before our very eyes as her character Mercedes on Glee. Amber Riley is a woman of many talents. The first thing that comes to mind when you hear her name is that she is a vocal powerhouse known on the Fox series Glee. Now, she was crowned the winner and revealed as the talent behind the Golden Heart Mask in season 8 finale of The Masked Singer, which premiered Wednesday, November 30th, back in 2022, last year. So she is the blueprint for so many women of color. And I'm thankful to celebrate women like Amber Riley. So salute to you, Queen. Let me add Tinesha back. I think we dropped. Is Tinesha still in here? You guys, and the final thought of the day comes from another powerful woman. So today's final thought comes from our girl, Rihanna. This is one of my favorite quotes and mantras to live by. Rihanna says this: there's something so special about a woman who dominates in a man's world. It takes a certain strength, grace, intelligence, fearlessness, and the nerve to never take no for an answer. Go for the gusto. And more importantly, dare. I live by that word. For me, dare is daring to take a risk, whether for me it's fashion or a career move. I must say, starting over for me, the journey has been inseparable. And I feel amazing. And you guys see the change right before me. Oh no, it kicked my girl Tinesha Lynn out. Let me add her back. So that is the final thought of the day.
I'm back, Stevie. I'm back. Sorry about that.
We're right. All right. This goes along with what Tinesha just said, Fashion Dolls. I'm going to run the quote back again. So if you guys have any questions before we wrap up, you guys ask our girl Tinesha your questions. The quote of the day ties into what Tinesha said in the mid part of our girl talk. And this quote comes from Rihanna. There's something so special about a woman who dominates in a man's world. It takes a certain grace, strength, intelligence, and fearlessness, and the nerve to never take no for an answer. Never be afraid to stand up for what you want. Never be afraid to dare to take a risk in this business as women, because the world has told us no for so long.
Right.
This is basically what Rihanna is saying right here in a nutshell. The same thing Tanisha just said a few minutes ago. So I definitely agree with that. You got to be bold. Being a woman in this business, it takes a lot of strength. It takes a lot of courageousness, and you got to have a backbone. And more importantly, in a world that is so male dominated, and I'll give you an example. I had a guy, I'll give you guys a little story. Let's just give him a name, John Doe. So I was trying to set up an interview with this actor, and his tone was very misogynistic. And what happened was, I said, I can sense the misogyny. So I was calling him to let him know, hey, we're going to discuss the details of the interview or whatever. And this individual, John Doe, basically just gaslit my experience of work. He didn't care that I've had so many interviews. He didn't care the work and the contributions that I've done for Black culture. He didn't care about any of them. So he basically just discarded me. And that's easily, it doesn't matter what part of or stature you're in. You could be
where he at,
CEO,
Stevie? Where he at? No, I'm playing.
Producer, director, whoever. You could be in those positions, and you will have some men like that in the industry,
right,
who will basically just disregard, oh, you're a woman, you can't do this.
Oh yeah,
So yes,
my voice. I sat there.
Misogyny,
Wow,
it's real.
it's real. I was watching. I was on one production and watching young AD and watching her, Black woman in a room with a lot of white males, and no one wanted to hear her thoughts on what she felt about. They were discussing maybe a certain part of where a shot should be, but no one wanted to hear her. And when somebody else brought it up, all of a sudden it was valid, and she was like, "But I said that. I said that a while ago." And that's when sometimes you got to put your foot down and say, "Hey, are you hearing me? Because I'm listening to you guys, but nobody's hearing me right now." Sometimes you got to go there.
Shout outs to Deja McCowan. Shout outs to her. When she was here the last time, we talked about the angry Black woman narrative, and that is one thing that she said. Hey, that's all we're saying. If we're basically just saying, hey, we're here, I have ideas too. You're not listening to my ideas. But when John Doe or Tim over here gives their ideas, because they're men, you're typically shutting us out the boys club because you don't think we're capable to fit in. And it takes us back to that day and age, back in the 1950s, where we women would just sit up in the house and be Betty Homemaker. It's like, no, we're in positions of power too. And being a woman should not make you feel some type of way from doing your job. I can do the job just as good as you. And another thing, baby, I can look good doing it.
That part. And you have me here for what? You don't want to hear my opinion or value my opinion. Well, why am I sitting here? Sometimes when I had to ask that. Oh, well, no, I need you to answer my question. Why am I here if you cannot respect or value what I bring to this table, or value or even acknowledge? I'm not asking you to agree. I'm asking you to acknowledge what I am saying and respond to it. So yeah.
That is all. That's all. We just want you to hear us out. And I'm glad that the men watching took something from this conversation as well, too. And yes, fellas, we wasn't bashing you again. Disclaimer, if you're watching, not at all. Yes, we do. We love our Black men. We love our kings out here. Thank you guys for supporting us and rallying behind us. And that you guys understand us, that this is what we go through on a daily, not as just Black women, but as people, as a culture. We're glad that you understand it, and we understand both sides of the coin. And again, it goes back to what I said, which is we have to be able to understand each other as people of color, as Black people, in order, especially in the entertainment business, where they have already closed doors in our face and told us no because of the color of your skin. You can't do it. So we still have a lot of work to do, fashion dolls.
Yes, a lot of work to do, but thank God, let's do the work. We're doing the work. Let's do the work. Let's continue to do work, together. So, yes, honey.
Absolutely. We are glad that you guys enjoyed the Girl Talk today, Fashion Dolls.
Guys, thanks for coming in on Girl Talk. Yes. Thanks,
Yes,
gentlemen.
did you guys enjoy it? And do you guys have any questions for Tanisha before, while everybody's typing, if you guys have any questions? Tanisha, what do you want women, young black girls and young black boys growing up, if they want to get into the business, what advice would you give them?
Oh, so one, definitely make sure that are you want to love what you do and have confidence in what um be confident about it. Know if even if you don't know that's what you want, just have confidence and don't let anybody take your. So if that is what your dream is, if that's what you want your world to be, just know that you can go out and touch it and create it and mold it and shape it to whatever it is you want it to be. So I have two sons who love acting. And you know what? I will support it. As long as those grades come in the way they're coming in,
And
I will
hello?
continue to support and love and nurture whatever it is that they're dreaming to be. And so I always teach them that. And if I give up, what am I teaching my sons? So yes, keep going. That's my lesson. Keep going. If that's what you love to do, keep going. And
More
be
importantly,
afraid to ask for help. If you do not know, ask.
never.
Ask all
Absolutely.
for help. It's okay to ask.
And that's the mindset that Alan Yankee was talking about a little earlier as well. So we have to get out of that phase of being afraid to ask for help. Swallow the pride. If you need help, especially in this business, we become so. Some of us, we've learned to humble ourselves, but some of us get so much pride. It's just like,
So
I don't need
that's it.
anybody.
Right.
I've had to ask people for help too.
Right.
I've had to.
It's like there's times and you can't be a know-it-all because if you know it, you do it. So and and I'm getting over that. I was a prideful person. I don't want to ask anybody for help, but not just because I thought I knew it, but because just out of fear for inconveniencing or feeling like I'm being an inconvenience to someone, or not wanting people to stop, or not wanting to admit that I don't know. And there's nothing wrong with saying, "Hey, I don't know. Can you help me?" And then that's what I always encourage them to do. Let me know if you need help. So that would be my advice to these young creatives coming up. Never be afraid to look for the answers either. To ask for answers.
Listen, don't be afraid to ask. We're here, and there's so many people who are willing to help you. There's so many platforms that you can learn that are educational as well. I try to model my platform like that, where it's informative, educational, and because sometimes going back into our history, some people can be like, okay, we already know that. So you kind of have to make it. I try to add spice to it and fire, so that people are like, okay, she's hip with it. And that's what I want. I want us to have fun while learning, and more importantly, stay grounded. Stay with a good, positive circle. Family, more than anything. Family, my mom, I'm thankful to have her, and my grandmother. Just to be surrounded by family is everything.
Now I'm telling you, my mom and my family, there's just definitely my support system, and what I value about my mom, especially she's never going to tell me what I want to hear. It's like, no, I still support her. She's very honest, and hey, this is what this is, and this is what this looked like, and if ever I need like advice on, hey, Dad, how do you think I did on that show or that movie? Well, your face needs some help here, I love my support system. I love the honesty that my family brings. My brothers, and everybody that just, my man, he's just like, look, yeah, I think you could have worked on, this. But it's important to have people like that. It's important to have people in your life that can keep it 100 with you at all times and not tell you everything you want to hear in this industry.
And believe me, our moms will tell you, your mom will tell you right up front before anything if something doesn't look right. Even for me, my mom will tell me, "Ooh, that child, that dress kind of short. Now, you sure you want to wear that thing?" So They will let you know.
Let you know, my auntie. That's who my auntie was my biggest influencer growing up. She was the one who I just wanted to be so much like. She is in theater. She's when I say vocalist, her vocals are pretty phenomenal. But that's who I aspire to be like. And it's so funny because just growing up and watching her, my mom, and my aunties sing together, it was just incredible to have that type of inspiration in my life. And for kids who don't really have that, and who haven't grown up in families where
Yeah.
you're watching somebody sing or watching people on stage, that's another thing too. Get in there and study. There's so many platforms for you to pull up YouTube and say, hey, who was the next this or who did this? Research. If that's what you love to do, research where the greats came from. That's another thing. Know your history.
All right, fashion dolls, we don't have any questions. So we are coming to the end of our girl talk. So Tinesha, let everyone know where they can follow you at Jack Squad 2, an ensemble cast. Let everyone know where they can follow you and check out the film and all of your projects.
Yes, please definitely check out Gerald's Hands, Jack Squat 2, Thanksgiving, and Thought Therapy. Those three coming, and How Did I Get Here? Please keep an eye out for all of those. That would be amazing. But you can follow me on IG, Tinesha Lynn, TINESHALYNN. Same name across Facebook and IG. And look, I'm trying to TikTok, y'all. But, I ain't quite there yet. But y'all can follow me on it. I'll be more proactive. I'll try. And YouTube page coming soon. We have some great stuff coming up. So definitely please look out for some of these things.
All right, fashion dolls, there you have it. Y'all make sure y'all go and follow our girl Tinesha Lynn. This was a great girl talk. I had such a great time, and this has definitely been longly in the works.
Yes.
So I'm so happy you did it.
Thank you, Stevie. Thank you so much for having me on the show, and thank you for just having this beautiful platform. I'm definitely a fan, so thank you.
Thank you, girl. And we got to do this again in the future. Definitely.
Yes. I will see you soon, gorgeous.
Thank you. Thank you, girl.
Look, I'm coming from some hair tips. I need my next style, girl. Look at
Ladies and gentlemen, Tinesha Lynn, thank you so much for this girl talk. And this will be saved so you guys can check out the replay in case you missed it. We love you, and we will see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Tomorrow, Justin M. Goodwin will be here. Take care, everyone.